All right, day 6. It is the one leg stretch, which is one of the exercises in what's referred to as the stomach series. But I want to really clarify something. That's something that came about when the dancers took over Pilates, when it kind of became a fitness thing. Abdominals are not the key part of this exercise. The goal here is to maintain your spinal position against the movement of your legs. So we're going to be holding a spinal flexion and we're going to move opposite legs. And it might seem like a simple exercise, but you guys, the science geeky stuff is pretty cool about this because it's asymmetrical. So when we're working just from one side of the body or the other, I like to call it the Pilates detective work, where we can really start to see if there's imbalances. And you really want to work centered here. I want you to really think about the opposition of push and pull, because sometimes it becomes flaily. If you ever go to a Pilates class and you come out and you're like, oh, my hip flexors, my thighs hurt, you didn't use your core. And because you want to integrate the core as sort of the stability factor from which your movement comes, okay? So when we do this, I want you to imagine that you're anchored into the floor. So we're going to do this, but actually first, let's do this. Okay, we're gonna have some fun. I don't know if this is gonna work. My head might get cut off, but that's okay. Okay, so I want you to stand up with me for just a second, and I want you to lift a leg, and then lift the other leg, and lift a leg, and lift the other leg. Guess what? Your hip flexors, there's 11, they worked to lift your leg. But what? If you just planted your hand right here, so the heel of your hand ends up on your belly button. And I want you just to think about this center. And I want you just to notice you breathe. Again, the belly just naturally lifts away from your hand. Now, I'm going to ask you to lift a leg, but I'm going to ask you to imagine you're controlling that from right here, okay? So the hands can come out to the side. Now, I want you to really think of pulling your knee up from your center and then pushing the leg away. Okay, a little transfer of energy. Ooh, there's some stability that has to happen. I want you to feel like you're pulling the knee up from your center and then pushing the leg away. That is how we get activation and control in this exercise. And it should feel delicious. It should be super hard, but when done properly, should feel like effortless effort. So if you have neck pain, if your back hurts, if your hips are gripping, you're not really working in a coordinated effort. And that's where I would suggest, you know what, just book 1-3 sessions with an instructor and they can get you on board. Okay, so we're getting stronger every day, getting to the mat with our half roll back. So inhale, sit tall. Exhale, roll back. You don't have to go this slow. This is just a really, really good way to build eccentric strength for your abdominals so that the roll up becomes easier. Okay, so we're laying on the mat. We always start the same, right? So let's bring our legs together. Let's press the arms down into the mat. Why? Because our arms, as they press down, anchor us into our middle back. Our middle back, our core, our glutes, they all work together. Now, remember when we were standing up? So think about reaching your right leg away from you. And as you're reaching the right leg away from you, you're going to exhale and bring your left knee into tabletop from your center. Now you're going to keep that leg pulling in, and then we're going to unweight the right leg and pull in it as well. Okay? Then we'll take the hands, both of them onto one leg. The arms are going to move back and forth from the legs as they go out, but I don't want to see any rotation through the spine. I want it to be nice and level, okay? So we're going to look up at the ceiling to start. We're breathing. We just bring the chin towards the chest slightly as we exhale. We curl the head, the neck, the shoulders off the mat. The bottom tip of my shoulder blade is still on. Now I'm going to pull this right leg into me, and then I'm going to push my left leg away from the back of my hip. And then the legs are going to pass past one another, and I'm going to work from my center, okay? So I'm going to reach and pull. Now, watch this modification, because you can take your hands behind your head to give a little pillow and to create a little bit of stability for your head. Let's do one more either side. pull them both back in, and then rock ourselves up to have a seat. That's the single leg stretch. Guess what comes next? The double leg stretch. We hold that position, reach both legs away at the same time into a hollow hold gymnastics position, and then bring it all back together, okay? So practice this